Okay, I think that bad boy is live. We're just going to give it a quick minute for everyone to get on. Hello, this is the Job Hacker session, and I am Mark Campbell. We'll be getting started shortly. All right, so seconds, and I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, hello, my name is Mark, and this is the Job Hack 101 session. Basically, what we're going to be going over is, I guess, the changes in the way find and source jobs today. There are some things that have changed thanks to tools like CareerBuilder and Monster.com that, quite frankly, just changed the game in the way companies are looking for new talent and the way um, people are looking for jobs themselves. So my background, I am an engineer. Been doing it for the last 5 years. Traditionally, I went to school for graphic design and decided to switch things up. Um, in that, I had learned a whole lot about, this thing I decided called job hacking. Um, before graduating college, I probably went on over 10 interviews just so I can learn what interviews were all about. After graduating, it took me about 30 days to find my first job. I was only lucky because, I don't know, I didn't know how much you were supposed to make as a graphic designer or a web developer. I had no clue. And in my area, or where I'm from, in the DC area, I undervalue myself. by a whole lot. Um, I made about as much as the manager at McDonald's. And considering that, I have to pay my education for the rest of my life, I'm probably going to need a little bit more than that, thanks to Sally Mae. So yes, I was there for about, didn't stay very long because I caught wind that I was probably supposed to be making more money, and they caught wind that I was probably supposed to be making more money too. Another company, which I stayed at for a year, which was interesting because I was actually the first place got the chance to be fired. And it's not too often, you hear someone say that they getting fired was a great thing, but for me, it was a great thing. I was unemployed for 9 months, and because of those 9 months, I had to learn these strategies that were going to be used to help me get hired. Because I mean, 9 months, bills pile up, and life happens, which a lot of life did happen. So I had to learn from that experience. But because of that, now I've been able to teach these strategies to other people, and I've used this in multiple industries. And this is the first time I'm doing a formatted, I'm exposing these strategies to other people. So let's see, what are we going to be talking about? I'm going to help you, I guess, get your inbox from wherever it is today to getting, thousands of job leads in your given industry, in your inbox, and as well as you being able to reach out to people who are offering you jobs. This is over the course of the last 3 years. I have over 2,000 emails with probably cloud job leads. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff, and I get a lot on a daily basis as well. So the first thing we're going to be talking about, there's a few principles to the job hacker, um, stretching from everything to, the automation process to getting a full inbox to resume indexing, even to how you use social media, because, apparently people who are looking to hire you are also paying attention to your social media presence as well. So the job hackers ranges from everything to the automated emails all the way to social media. For the sake of this, 45 to 30-minute session or whatnot, we're just going to focus on the automated emails and some of the resume indexing. Resume indexing can get complicated. I think it's rather simple, but we're going to focus on the basics of resume indexing at the top level, something you can use today and make the most with. Some tools you're going to need to make this happen. An account, if a Gmail account preferably, or any email account, and a Indeed.com. I don't think you're going to need an account for Indeed.com. You just probably going to need to be able to go to the URL. So IFT is a service that basically automates everything from your lights to emails to Instagram to Tumblr. It automates everything, or cross automates things. And one of the cool things that it does is that there's a RSS feed. Now, another cool thing behind the RSS feed is that generally most of the big job sourcing sites use RSS feeds or some kind of feedback feed that you can tap into. So because there's a feed, you can automate when things happen, or when a job lead gets posted, you can automatically get an email as soon as something's posted within these sites. But for the sake of this tutorial, we're going to talk about Indeed. So we're going to automate postings as soon as they happen by some employer or someone sourcing for people to your emails. So part of the is being first to respond. So if is going to allow us to do that. Next thing we want to look at is like I said, the biggest mistake I made getting into the industry is not knowing how much I was worth. So if there's anything you want to do, I know Indeed has a salary estimator. You know, check out the salaries for the position where you live. Because you're going to find that, you know, somewhere around that average is what you should be making and what you should be looking for. And try not to sell yourself too short, because, you know, real life gets real and bills do have to be paid and Sally Mae expects her money back. So you want to make sure you're yourself in a good range. So yeah, check out the salary estimator, and that should help you a lot. So let's get started. Once you've created your if.com account, the first thing you want to do is click on My Recipes. And for My Recipes, you're going to be able to create your first recipe. In recipe, actually even before then, you want to connect your channels. But once you've connected the email channel, you want to create a recipe. So you want to click My Recipes and create a recipe, then you say if this then that. So let's go ahead and click. And it's going to ask you to choose a trigger. Just type in RSS and the feed should pop up. Click that and then it will take you to the next section and new item. Again, remember I was saying that, you know, as soon as an employee posts a new item, that gets triggered to the RSS feed. And then once it gets triggered to the RSS feed, it's so, you know, as soon as they're posting, you're seeing. So you can be a first responder, not like you're, you know, a medic or something. Even if you were, I don't know how that works. So yeah, next thing you want to do is in the RSS, just put in this URL here, http rss.indeed.com/RSS $Q equals. This isn't what we're going to put in the end. We're just going to put this for now. What we're going to do is once we've determined what kind of job we were looking for, we're going to change that Q equals with the feedback that Indeed gives us. And like I said before, I mean, a lot of different job sourcing sites do this thing differently, but they all ultimately give you a feed. And for Indeed, oh crap, I lost it. For Indeed, their feeds are pretty simple. It's just a matter of changing that Q equals, which we'll do in the end. So go ahead and enter this link as your feed URL and then click Create Trigger. Once you've created the trigger, we want to go ahead and set up our that. So we have our if, then, that. We're going to choose our action. We're going to type and click on our email. And of course, our action will be send an email. Once we have that, so the important thing here is to enter a subject line. One subject line I like to choose is I like to do a colon and then my name, just so when it hits my inbox, I know it was specifically for me in the if, as well as allows me to create custom labels through Gmail if I'm using Gmail. So like I said, Gmail is probably the best bet because you can do custom labels. I automate having custom labels as soon as it hits my inbox. So boom, I know which one it is. I like this body setup. The body setup can be whatever you want it to be. There's a default body setup. I don't really think it matters as long as you have some kind of link in there that they can respond to, that you can click on and takes you right to the job. I don't really think the body matters. So the important part is making sure that there's a subject line in there that stands out enough for you to notice it when it hits your inbox. Yeah, that's that. So once we've set up our email, we're going to go ahead and if you want to name your recipe, it doesn't really matter. But if you want to name your recipe, free to name your recipe. Go ahead and click create recipe. Once you've clicked create recipe, you want to go ahead and click on the edit. And here is when we're going to actually attach the link from Indeed. Here's where all the magic happens. So what we're going to do first, well, once you click on that, we're going to open a new tab. In your new tab, you want to go ahead and type what job you're looking for, and then type the area you're looking at. And then it's going to take you to a page. Once you click find jobs, it's going to take you to a list of jobs in that area for that specific title. But then once you're there, if you look on the far left, once you gotten to that page, on the far left there is a menu. That menu is, I think, is probably one of the most important parts to this hack, because that menu is going to allow you to customize the RSS feed and really focus in on the job that you want. And I encourage you to use that navigation and that tool to really tailor the job to what you want. Because what you're going to find is once you take jobs that you get, it in your feed will be super focused. And you rather have those super focused instead of bulking, didn't have like 10 jobs you don't need and one you do. So focus that left navigation. In there, you're going to have the salary requirements, because we looked at the salary requirements earlier, so we know what we can expect. And even then, it tells you how many openings you're going to find in that salary requirement. So the less openings you find in the salary requirement. And that's really up to you. If you want a specific title, something that you're going to be called, you go ahead and specify a specific title. Specific companies, you can specify specific companies. You can specify specific, how many jobs are in that location. So once you tailor the salary, the location, it should be pinpointing exactly how many jobs are available in any given location, even once you determine how far you're willing to go outside of that radius. So it's a really good tool. Once you've specified all this information and you clicked on enter, what it's going to generate is a really long URL that has everything in it. It has the engineer, the money, the location, the company, all the information is going to be inside of that. But notice that it's all behind the Q equals. So we're going to take everything behind the Q equals, we're going to copy that. So from the question mark, once we hit the Q equals, we're going to copy Q equals all the way to the end. The reason why copy the Q equals all the way to the end is because that is going to give us our RSS feed. And we're going to place that inside if, so that if knows that we're looking for the RSS feed from Indeed. And that's where we're going to get it from. So we copy that, and this is what we should have in the end, right? This is what it should look like after you've copied it. So if we go back to our other tab that has Indeed open because we edited, let's go ahead and scroll down. If you scroll down to the trigger, what you're going to find is the Q equals, and then you're going to take the Q equals and you're going to paste what we had copied, and you should generate this link here. And after that, you want to go ahead and click update. And that's it. I mean, it should be running, and in the next day or two, a feed of job posting coming right to your emails or email. And having that was very powerful for me, because I couldn't always be in my job search. I could not always be searching on the internet, and a lot of times I search for something and it was too late. I wouldn't find it for a week and it would pop up, whether it be from Craigslist or from, you know, Indeed or any other job sourcing site, pop up, and I'd miss opportunities. So this was powerful for me because it automated opportunities coming to me quickly. Um, I now have opportunities coming to me in real time. So when I was searching for a job, as soon as the opportunity hit my desk, or it doesn't matter, as soon as the opportunity came to my inbox, I was able to apply for the job right then and there, which in turn allowed me to land the job faster. After 9 months, I was able to land the job faster, just having the ability to apply for more jobs sooner in real time. So that's one of, if not one of the most powerful principles of the job real-time feed that gives you an edge over other applicants to be able to apply for jobs sooner. When they land, you're on them. So that is the automated. Like I said, it was part one, right? Another principle of the job hacker is breaking the rules of the one pager. Coming out of college, you're taught that you should have a one-page resume and it should be easy to read, and you should be able to get through it fast, and someone shouldn't be able to take a long time to go through. It should be beautiful, clear, and a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't really matter anymore. Don't get me wrong, I think the one pager is great, but I think it's great once you've gotten the interview. I think it's great to carry with you on the interview. I think it's great if you're mailing it into an employer, because not many people do that anymore. They don't mail resumes by USPS. You're not going to get a mailing of a resume. And I think the opportunity to be unique, the opportunity to stand out, happens when someone touches your resume. But if we're talking about digital resumes, then the one-page resume is absolutely obsolete. I believe if you're in a digital space with a resume that's one page, there's a good chance you're probably losing. And here's why. Because in most cases, when the resume gets to the point where a human eye reads it, the computer has already sourced you and ranked you. Programs are sourced before humans ever read them. When an employer posts a job on a job site, they look for the results of candidates who best qualify, and based on the search result. And the search results are based on, what the program finds to be the best candidates, based on whatever they read in their resume. So if you don't have the proper keywords in your resume, and you're not saying all the right things in your resume because you're using so few words to talk about. You're using so few words, your search results are being lowered. So now you're appearing lower on searches because you're not using the proper keywords. So it's important to actually use keywords in your resume so you can appear higher on searches. Career List, Career Builder, Monster.com. When employers are searching for you, they are ranking you based on your search results, and those search results are based on what's found in your resume. So having that one-page resume, like I said, it's great for a physical presence. Being unique, making those unique resumes, those are great when you're physically putting them in the hands of the employer. But more than likely, you're not putting that resume in the hands of the employer unless you're mailing it or you're already. Now, if we want to talk about getting the interview, that's when we get into search indexing for resumes. So what I want to do is let's see, where are we? In my opinion, you have a few layers to the indexable resume. There's I know they have SEO and what are the top things that a Google bot is going to search for. Here's what the Monster.com bot or the career builder bot. And this is what they're looking for, um, and how you get ranked really. So who are you? Starts with your name, a desired job title, um, your phone number, your email. What do you want? So you know, if I when we get into the objective as far as what you want, I like to be human. I guess that's your only opportunity to really stand out and say, this is who I am as a person. You talk about maybe 2 or 3 sentences as far as what makes you, why do you have a passion for an industry? Not so much as I'm looking for a job where I can do X. My job that I'm hoping to get hired for has to provide X. Um, Make it less about the opportunity and more about you and your passion for your industry. And I like to take 2 or 3 sentences just to talk about passion and what I'm looking for, things like that. Um, would you find that come across a lot better than making it about the job? Because if it doesn't fit them as an employer, if it does, they're already looking over you. So I like to make it about my passion, and that's like the one human thing that you can't really get reading over skills, or just the keyword stuff. And another cool thing is that if I do talk about my passion, I am in the indexing because my passion is about the industry. So I'm already talking about the industry. Therefore, more words stand out, and I'm already on top of the rankings. Um, Next thing I like to say is technical skills. You want to list technical skills. A lot of times, if you're coming straight out of college, you don't have a lot of years behind your technical skills. So it's great to just list the technical skills as they are. You don't necessarily have to list, what those technical skills are, how long you've been, or how proficient. If anything, you could say how proficient. You say, hey, I'm a 9 or a 10. You don't necessarily have to put the years that you've been doing it. Soft skills. That's becoming, I guess, a growing trend in searching for candidates. Is what kind of soft skills do they have? Can they communicate? Can they do technical writing? Can they work in a team? Can they work on their own? Do I have to handhold them? So soft skills are becoming important, and it's great to just say, hey, I have soft skills. And it's all search indexing. The robots on these websites are programs are designed to look for the best candidates, and the ones who list it are appearing higher than the ones who don't list it. So you can assume that that they should understand I have these soft skills, or you can put the soft skills down to the guy who doesn't put it down. So soft skills, experience. We talk about the experience, roles, company. Like I like to do when I talk about experience, whether it be through coursework or it be through actual have to have it be a job experience, but maybe it's coursework. So if I'm going through that, I'm going to say, here's what my role was, whether I was the lead, I was the technical lead, I was the front end developer or something like that. I would list the name of that role or the title, list the company that I was working with, the time frame in which I worked, whether it's May to June, blah blah blah. A quick company bio, say what the company does, a sentence, and I would give a detailed description of my role, whether it be through bullet points or 2 sentences. I would say here, as a front-end developer, I did X. A lot of times people put a short bio of the company, but they don't necessarily talk about what they did working with the company. So I try to be specific and talk about what I did, so it makes sense. So what I want to do, actually, that was it, bio role. And then last thing I talk about, I almost missed it because I didn't see it. The last thing I talk about is, so what's interesting is I leave education for last because, I mean, again, if this is based on it popping up in a search, it's going to pop up regardless. I don't have to put my education first. If you went through some fancy school, great. Put it first. I had people I've worked with who have a degree in psychology and want to be engineers, or have, they were a lawyer and they wanted to be an engineer. So it didn't make sense for them to put, because as an employer, if you read over that first, you kind of stop. But if you read over everything else first in their resume and you ended on their education, man, I got to hire this guy because he has everything I wanted. I can look over the fact that his education isn't really suited to what I need. So I always leave education last, because sometimes it's not really suited to what you're looking for or the job you're applying for. The education isn't really suited for it. So I say leave it last, unless it's specifically tailored towards the industry you're in and that education matters. So put it at the top. But normally put it last. And the more experience you get, the less it matters. That's that. So what we're going to do right now is actually look at a few resumes, and you can see exactly how these things get laid out across the board. And I mean, all these people, these are some success stories. I've got folks who had the results, and we're going to pull these folks up. Boom, boom, boom. So here we have a lawyer. This is a lawyer who wanted to get into web development, and I work with him personally to get his resume up and running. So again, we start with the name, your number, your email address, and then a brief objective of what you want. And here we can see his. This lawyer digging through websites, tinkering around, wondering what makes him tick. A few years in coding programs, IRC channels, internships, and coding projects allowed for me to become a key contributor to any team without the need for hand-holding. And what was cool is it was important here. I wanted to make sure, when he applied for jobs, folks realized that he was no longer just a lawyer and didn't need anyone to hold his hand. And he should actually say that specifically, because how many folks out of college are going to say, I don't need hand-holding? Hey, I've been working with this stuff. This is what I do. I have a passion for it, and you don't have to hold my hand. I can actually do this. And let's talk about skills. These are the skills he has, and he was specific about all the skills and things that he was capable of doing, the technology he's worked with. Now, and here's one of those cases where you don't have the experience on the job, but you do have coursework and different projects you've worked on. So with him, I say, hey, specifically talk about the projects you've done. Let's talk about that, because based on the projects you've done, that should be the bulk of your experience. And here you got details about the projects you've done and some courses that he's taken to really show that he's taken the initiative to be a software engineer. And and he also has like one internship. So he has an internship company, and again, leaving the education last. So it was interesting. And this is the lawyer, and he was hired. What was interesting is that he was hired right after he finished his resume. He also was about 30 job leads a week. So he went from having, no leads to getting 30 leads a week. And this is off just some subtle changes in his resume. Another developer who didn't necessarily have an objective, but again, he followed the format: name, what he wants, skills, software, and the experience. And like I said, the company he worked for, the title, the time he was there, and the description, and that's what you're going to find. And of course, in his education, because he studied, it really makes sense that to talk about your education first when you studied psychology. But he was someone else who also got of job leads because of this resume. And what happens is once you've tailored your resume to things in that format, You update it on Monster, you update it on Career Builder, Job Fox, Indeed. I mean, you post an updated resume on all the major jobs. What happens is, by default, your phone starts going off. Um, so what happens is your phone starts going off because you've updated your resume and you're obviously appearing as a top search result for all these candidates. So everybody's looking at you like, oh my gosh, this guy, we got to have him. You've been there the entire time, but they've never seen you. And that's mostly because previously you weren't indexed and now you're being indexed. The only last thing I'm gonna let you look at my resume, and for me, because I have multiple years of experience, like I said, I break the whole one-page thing. I don't even think it matters. I ignore it completely. I talk about what I want, my name, my website, my email address, the number to reach me at, my LinkedIn account, uh, my objective, which is rather long, but if I get my objective, I drop in keywords everywhere: award-winning agencies, high-level design, um, name drop companies I work for. If they're a big name company, I'll name drop big name companies I work with. I'll put in, uh, keywords in my objective so that it stands out more and I appear in rankings. And I'm not necessarily trying to uh, stiff anyone. I'm not necessarily trying to be unsincere because everything I'm writing is sincere. I mean, this is what I've done and this is what I do. The goal is I wasn't talking about it and I wasn't including it, and now I am including it. And because I am including it, I'm going to more results. I cannot assume, and nor should you ever assume, that the employer or the Google bot or the career bot, if you will, knows who you are. They have no clue who you are. They're basing everything on what is on that resume to appear in a indexing. And the employer, where they can read it and understand those things are truth, they don't read it first. The computer software reads it first. All these searching and ranking softwares of who you are reads things, so it's your job to include them. So I include those keywords. I include the skills, how long I've done them, the years of work I put in on them, whether my skills be from graphic design, web development. Now I have to rank them up because I have so many skills in different areas. My experience, again, same format. The role, the company, the location, maybe their link, the time frame, a bio of the company, a short bio. The important part is talking about my role, and getting into details as far as what I did for a particular company. And this is long. I mean, we're already at the second page, where this thing goes all the way down. I mean, bullet points. Awards. I do have awards, so I talk about my awards and my education. But it's a resume that's 3 pages long. And again, it's built for indexing. Nothing else. I mean, it's just designed to get results by search engines or by job engines, if you will. Forbes did an article recently that resume indexing is now a thing. It's been a thing for a few years. It's been around for a few years, and Forbes' justification was that because there are companies who are launching that are solely based on ranking you as a candidate. There are companies forming that their only job is to rank you as a candidate and determine how you fit. This has been going on for years. This is that no one's ever made a system of it, and now it's a thing. And it's not a thing that's going away, it's a thing that's growing. So you as a candidate are being searched, you're being indexed by companies, and you before they even look at your resume, they're paying other companies to rank you to see where you fit on the list. And if you're following these steps, what you're going to find is that you're going to always be at the top of the rankings. So because you're at the top of the rankings, you know, you're going to be ahead of the game. So these trends that are growing, they're going to keep growing, and then there's going to be more subsets that come up. But no one's really talking to you as the candidate looking for the job. They're talking to employers because employers have the money to fund them, to keep their companies growing. So all these subsets in different, industries are growing in the job market, and they're really tailored to the company because the company has money. No one's tailoring to the person who's looking for this job because you're looking for a job and they don't think you have the funds to do this. And the big reason why I'm doing this is because I don't think it should matter. You know you should have the best opportunity. You should know what's going on in the industry, and you should be able to put yourself in the right position despite what's going on in corporate America and how they're choosing to rank you and sort you. There should be something to tell you how to stand out. And you don't have to pay an arm and a leg for it. I mean, this session is free. So yes, that is ranking. And I think that's really it. I mean, your next objective, the thing that you want to do next, is once you've built this resume that all of these things, that has all of these tools. Once you've built that, the next thing you want to do is put that stuff on the web. Put that stuff. Once you have all these things in order, the next thing you want to do is start uploading this into those sites. One tip I always have is that you want to have 2 of these in your resume. There's 1.5. And specifically these 2 formats, because these 2 formats are I guess I can say it's going to give you the best results when the search box of our resume is a .txt file and a .doc file 97/2003. It's an older Word format. So you click on File, Save As, DOC 97/2003. That is going to give you the best results when you upload to one of these websites. So use that. That's what you want to use. So once you've done that and you've uploaded to all these sites, what's going to happen is, now that they have some way of finding you or calling you or emailing you, you're going to find yourself getting a lot more phone calls, a lot more emails. And on top of the fact that you have now a automated tool where you can automate your emails, because that's what we did in step 1. Now that you combine that with the ability to automate your tools, now you're going to be a double threat because you're going to be getting phone calls, getting your offers, and you're also going to be able to be applying to leads in real time and being the first to apply for a lead in real time. It's like, 2 of the components of job hacking. We never got into the social media aspects and how that works, and how you can do your LinkedIn. But if you focus just on these components alone, that should give you significant advantage in the job market, and it should help you out a lot. So what I want to do from here, because I'm basically done with my presentation, what I want to do from here is allow any and everyone to reach me. If you ever need to, for anything, for any help, you can reach me at my email. You can reach me on Twitter at artsmc, or send me an email, mark@jobhacker.com or mark@jobhacker.com. And I can help you out with, look over your resume or anything like that. I'd be happy to. But if you want to get started, or this also will be recorded. So when this is done, you can come back to this website, the Hack 101, and just watch this all over again from the beginning. And I hope that this helps you. I hope it's enlightening. Something most of the stuff are things no one ever really had a chance to find out, like who finds out that how to be get real-time feeds on when jobs get posted. Like, I don't know who discovered these things. So I hope stuff like that helps you. I hope the resume stuff helps you. And again, if you need anything, you can go ahead. I know I have like a Q&A for this thing. So if you want to go to the event in Google and ask questions, I believe there's a button. Where's that button? On the bottom right, you can click that YouTube button. It should take you to the event. And that's it. I mean, again, I hope it helps you, and I hope this was a great session. And I didn't suck too bad because I don't do this ever on a one thing. So, I hope I didn't suck. But that's all. Thanks, folks.